and here we are. It's not 3:30 in the afternoon though; it's 10:30 at night.
Yeah, really.
I've been busy all day. We got a lot to cover today. So we got a special guest here. We have Mark Pyle with us again, and of course we have Ron down here, and David will be joining us a little later. But we're going to be showing some killifish tonight. I'm not sure if Ron will be able to help with that, but I'm going to try and bring some stuff up, and then we're going to let Mark talk about some killifish. That way he can explain a little bit more about them. And we went to be back in a few minutes. All right.
Loo break already.
And
get it over with.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I got a little bit of news to share with everybody anyway. I told Ron already. He knows about it. I went and picked up some tanks today. I got a really, really good deal. I got a 329-gallon tanks and a 32-gallon tank, which is the same footprint as the 29. It's just that much taller. And I got all of them for a really great price. And on top of that, I met a breeder that, you know what, it's like you had no idea. You walk in this place, and it was like the Taj Mahal. He breeds bettas, and he also breeds flower horns, but he's getting rid of all of his flower horns. That's the reason why I got these tanks, because he's selling them off, and he's selling the tanks along with them. After the fish are gone, he sells the tank. And so that's how I got all four of these so reasonable. But those bettas, I tell you what, I seen them, and I was like, I almost started crying. They were so beautiful. They're just beautiful fish, I tell you. You'd love them, Ron, I tell you.
I'm sure.
We're gonna be having a tour. I talked to him. I said, I just met him. He's a really nice young man. Got a wife and kids, nice young family and whatnot. Hello, Jonathan. Welcome in. Hello, David. Uncle Smile. Let's say hello to everybody right quick here, and then we'll. Cecil Mayberry, TK Tropicals. Hello, UIO. That's Ruben, right?
Ruben.
And Sam. How can you be first, Sam? Hey, Tony Lone. Dr. Anthony's in. Of course, Cecil's there. Who else? Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody covered. Of course, we got Shirley. She is the first one in. Okay, so.
I think she's going to have to arm wrestle with Why Are We Always Yelling, because I saw him say first.
Oh, he's not even close to being first. I mean, I was second. You were, yeah. But.
Oh, man, I had a long day today, too. I after work, got home and had a sheriff's department call me up and asked me if I still help people with snakes. I said, oh, yeah. So they said, hey, you guys got a 4-foot snake in his back porch, and he's freaking out. Can you go help him? So, of course, I give him a call and run over there, and it's just a Western rat snake. No big deal.
No.
Western rattlesnake. Wow.
Rat. This was a rat snake.
Rat snake.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I did 2 rattlesnakes. They were with the Assisted Living Center for, it was part of their memory care area. They had 2 rattlesnakes that were fighting in combat, and I had to go and pick those guys up for them.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That is something.
Honestly, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
But we have Stan Pittman, and Craig is in. Hello, Craig, and hello, Stan. We have Mark Pyle here, and we have Ron, and David will be joining us a little bit.
Did you say hi to Gil? Gil is here.
Gil, did I miss? Oh my goodness! I was switching from large screen back to the phone here. Hey, Gil, you snuck in here. How you doing, mate? Hello, Jeff Fanatics. All right.
You couldn't keep me away.
I could not. I'm glad you're back.
Monster Fish Gal.
A Monster Fish Gal. That's Lori. Hello, Lori. Welcome back. Yes. John
Craig,
my good friend.
Australia's in the house.
Oh, we got Nathan's here.
So Florida's in the house too.
Who is?
Well, you said Nathan. I said so Florida's in the house too.
Oh, yeah, Florida. Yeah. Yes. And Dr. Anthony, I'm not sure if he's in Peru right now or if he's
or in Oregon.
Or in Oregon, yeah. He's in one of the 2 places.
And Melvin's in the house.
Yep.
Oh, of course he is.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Even when he's
anyway.
I don't know if you know the gentleman down here in the lower right-hand corner. That's Mark Pyle. I'm sure you know him. He's got his name right there. And I've been following your channel a long time.
Oh yeah. Cool.
You've seen me in your live streams a few times. I know that.
Now,
Yeah. Yeah. It's been almost a live stream. You get so busy anymore that man, I can't even live stream. I was gonna live stream last night, but there was just no way. I was too tired going on. Now there's too much going on. Got to stop.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Jonathan.
Well, the only reason why I do is because I got lots of. Well, I don't say I got lots of time, but I got more time than most do. I kind of like stuck here in the house 24/7, 365. But other than that, I gotta have something to keep my time occupied, right?
Yeah.
So now we were talking before the stream started about killifish because I know that I'm interested. I know David is, and I think I'm not sure about Ron, but once he sees them, he's probably going to think.
I do appreciate them. I don't think I'm set up to raise them or to keep them.
Well, the good news is it's easy to set them up to raise them.
Yeah.
You know, if you can keep a betta, you can pretty much keep a killifish, most of them.
Right.
Except for no heat. You know, most of them don't like the heat.
Yeah.
There's some killifish that like it so cold that I can't keep them. So you guys up north,
Also, they don't want
north keep
no
them.
heaters for them, right?
No heaters. There's very few species that you really need to heat up or anything.
Yeah.
Most of them are room temperature or co-cooler.
I was
got a
having mine
species
in
right now
about.
I can't breed. I think I got it too hot, and it's like 73 degrees in their tank.
Oh,
I think
wow.
that's
Yeah.
okay to keep them, but I think it's too hot for them to breed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine were in about 76 to 78.
Yeah.
That'd
Summertime.
be okay
that's what mine's
for
gonna be.
a lot of Achilles. It'd be okay. It'd be fine. For like the Australs and the Gardner eye and stuff like that you're talking about, that'd be fine.
Right.
But
Yeah,
yeah, some of those
summertime,
species,
that's where I'm gonna be.
if you're looking at cool fish that they're going to get gills, whatever, going to killifish, and you're looking for buy some stuff, make sure you do a little research. Put that scientific name that they are, and jump over and just put it in Google. And there's a couple places you can go. You can go to the American Killifish Association, extremely good place to go looking for all kind of information. But if you put your scientific name in there, and one of the things is American Killifish, click on that. You usually have a whole page of information about that particular fish, and there could be different localities for it too to make it look a lot different. So when you're
Right.
going to buy them, you make the locality sometimes matters to what it looks like. You might, if you're not paying attention, you get a different locality, and it kind of be, kind of not real happy with it because what you saw was a different locality, which was really brightly colored. So you need to take a look at that whenever you're buying them. Another one is, I can't remember what it is, but it's a weird website. You go on it and it's like tons of ads, but if you scroll down through enough, you can find breeding reports where people have actually bred that species of fish, and they rated it, how easy it was, what pHs they did it at, what temperatures, give you some notes on what they did and how successful they were at it. And you have multiple people doing that. So you get kind of a good picture of how to breed this species, especially some stuff you've never heard of before, which, man, I'm still running all kind of whole genuses that I've never heard of before. There's just so many of them. There's like 1,400 species that have been described.
Really?
So
Wow.
it's a deep subject.
Mhm.
So you can found anywhere in the whole world except for Australia and Antarctica. There's only two continents are not found on. So, like in Australia, pretty much the rainbow fish take over and replace what a killifish would be. So, if you're familiar with rainbow fish, you kind of get an idea what killifish do. Killifish can be found in saltwater, brackish, and freshwater. So, in different climates. So, so from the tropics all the way up to, really cold weather. So, yeah, pay attention to what you're actually looking at to figure out how you're going to keep it.
Right.
But most of the things you're going to find available, like usually even get gills, not get gills. I'm sorry, aquabid. Most of the stuff on there is going to be pretty easy to keep. Every once in a while, you find a rare species on there that's pretty cool. But most of the stuff is really easy. Some of the stuff is extremely hard to keep, but the stuff that's really hard to keep is usually hard to find too, because it's not to breed easy. You usually don't find that stuff on a list. You got to kind of go to a killifish convention somewhere or know somebody's got them. I mean, some of them are so sensitive that when you're netting them out, you can't bring them out of the water. If you come out of the water, they just die after that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, really, really sensitive stuff.
that is
Some
sensitive.
don't like water changes or anything, so you've got to be real careful about water changes and changing parameters. But those are the ones that are hard to find. I mean, you have to work hard to find that kind of stuff.
Huh.
But
Like
most of the stuff
the
is cool.
Gardner eyes and the Australs, they were pretty hardy.
Yeah, those are very, very good, considered beginner fish. because they survive in a wide range of temperatures, wide range of water parameters, pretty hardy. So yeah, those are going to be good.
That's what I like because I mean, the kind of fish the one I want to try to keep is something that people can use in their community tank, so they won't have to worry about, keeping the temperature way down or something that they can.
Oh yeah. Most of the stuff's going to be like that. Everything on my list is pretty much going to be room temperature things. You got a couple of them are going to have like long flowy tails, stuff like that. You might not want to be careful with. Like put angelfish in with cichlids, other cichlids. You can have a problem getting tail nips and stuff like that. So you got to pay attention to the same thing. It's let me turn these lights back on real quick.
I have to go around, Mark, and turn every one of mine on and off, man.
I could tell if I could tell Google to do it, but if I do that, and everybody else room lights are going to be going on too. Or I could just got apps. I just pick them on.
You got the high tech going on there. I don't have that.
Oh, yeah. I like to do stuff cheaply, but also automated and I love technology and stuff, so I'm using that every chance I get. So yeah,
Amen.
Automated water changes and
Lights.
I wish I had automated water changes, but just where this room's at, that I can't. Plumbing it, man, would be a nightmare trying to get the water in and out. It's just not really conducive.
Oh, you don't have a sink in there? There's no sink in there?
No, this is a bedroom. It's a small bedroom.
Oh,
That's where I'm at now. So I use my bedroom and I use my. I've got kind of a living room that's pretty big, so it's divided kind of in half. So that one whole side is nothing but racks too.
Oh, wow.
So I've got about 150 containers of water, which means everything from small containers all the way up to 150-gallon tanks. So most of the things are 5s and 10s, is what most of my tanks are. So, but trying to automate the water, there's just it's just a bedroom, and there's a hallway. Across the hallway is the bathroom, and then I got a vaulted ceiling right behind me. There's a bedroom, but it's got a vaulted ceiling goes right up against the roof, so you can't really go across top of it because it's like tucked up in there so tight. So it's just trying to do that. It just wouldn't work. So I have to do manual water changes. There's some tricks though you can do. I use some big trash cans, and what I'll do is I'll made a hook out of PVC pipe. You fill it full of sand or salt, whatever you got, and heat it up. You can heat it up over top of a stove if you need to, or use a torch, heat it all up, and then bend it. When the stuff inside of it, and keep it from collapsing down. If you just take a regular PVC pipe and try to bend it, it's just going to collapse in on itself. The other thing is hold it shut. Yeah. So I'll take that, drill some holes in the end of it, and then I'll put a cap on the end. So that hook, as it goes inside there, will have some holes. The top hole would be as far down as I can drain the tank down, because as soon as it's sucking air, that's going to be it. That'll kill your siphon. And then on the other side, when it comes down, I make it down far enough, and then I put a ball valve in there. So once I start a siphon, with the other end of it's usually hooked to a pump. So I'll just start to get the whole thing started. I'll hook the thing over top, turn the pump on just for a moment to get water up in the pipe, and then I'll turn the water pump off, and then it'll start siphoning itself. So once I get the water level down to where I want to go, I'll turn the ball valve, move it to the next tank. It'll hold the siphon because I've got enough above that, above the ball valve. Open the ball valve back up, and it'll start working. I got 2 or 3 of those going all at the same time going in that trash can. And then the trash can's got a pump in it, and it's got a garden hose going out either into my tub or it's going outside, depending on which room I'm in. So I can do multiple tanks all at one time. And then I have pumps hooked to the bottom, so I do the reverse. So in the trash can to pull the water out, of course, I've got a big sump in there on a float valve.
Oh, wow.
So as it fills up, it just kicks on and kicks itself back off, so I don't have to worry about that. I can just go keep track of where I'm at with my tank, so I'm just flying. I mean, sometimes it's
you got them all right next to each other, so you can just go boom, boom, boom. They're already down the line.
Yeah.
See, mine is
once you're done draining, of course, the ones on the bottom drain slower. So it takes you a little longer on the bottom. So sometimes you have a couple on the bottom draining and some on top, so you can manage it a little bit better. And then it's kind of the opposite. You just flip on your pumps and then just open your ball valve up, and you have a garden hose going, or I usually use a Python going into my trash can, pump my water in my trash can. And then of course I turn the pump off, the big old sump pump off, so the valve doesn't do anything. Just start putting some water in that, and after a while you kind of know how fast to put the water in. So I'm getting water going in there pretty good. So then I have my pumps onto a smart timer too, so I can tell it, hey, pump number whatever, turn on. and it'll turn that pump on for me until it turn it off too. So if I'm got my hands full, I can turn my pump off without touching it. So then I can be pumping them up, and then the ball valve works is I can turn that to shut the water off, and then move it to the next tank, flip it back on, move the other one to the next tank, flip it on. So that's where it gets kind of tedious. You don't have to worry about getting. You're watching the water levels, man. When they all start coming up at the same time, it's right. Close one off now, so you're not trying to juggle them all at the same time. But I can have my Python turned up full blast pretty much. So I can do a water change fast on these tanks. Doing that, but you're not sitting around waiting for the tanks to fill. You're busy. So
I get the water out quick, but I usually take a little longer getting all the water back in. I got to just take the hose around and some of my tanks. I mean, I got heaters in all these tanks down here, and so on some of the smaller tanks with more like I just put the water in slower, so it gives a chance for that water just to acclimate a little bit better as it goes in.
Yeah,
I just have to take my time with some of them, but the big tanks I just go full blast in them.
Yeah.
So,
for my small tanks, the bigger tanks, yeah, they're a little different. You got to do those and just have them different. You can't get away with doing it the same way. So
yeah,
but it's like the water change is pretty quick. It's not so bad. So it's semi-automated because I got some things been pumping and stuff going all the time. So I'm pumping water in and out, man. It's just going. So I'll use a pretty good sized pipe coming out of them too. And those small holes, what's nice is I can have those pumps going, and I can be pumping water in those tanks pretty fast, way faster than you could with the Python. Because the Python inside there, you're blowing water straight down. You'll blow a hole down in my substrate and get down in the dirt. Most of my tanks are dirty, and you'll just blow down to the dirt, and you're in trouble. But with this method, when the pumps are pumping water in, you got all those little holes coming up like this. The water is dispersing out, and you got a lot of holes, so it's really hard to get any flow. So it's just raising the water level up, and we've got a little bit of flow in there, but you're not disturbing stuff. You're not disturbing.
Oh, that's good.
Not doing anything. So you can fill those up way faster than you can fill them up with a Python or any other way.
Oh, okay. That's good to know that.
Oh yeah, it saves me a lot of time.
Oh, Big Steve says he just woke up from a 3-hour after dinner nap.
Oh,
The
jeez.
functional sleep schedule will begin. What's up, everyone? We're doing killifish here, Big Steve. You got here at the right time. We have Mr. Mark Pyle from Texas, and he's talking about killifish. It's a big part of his it's a big part of your fish room, isn't it? Most of it.
Yeah, it's the main part. Yeah, I do all kind of other little stuff too. Like I just picked up some Pseudomagil signifer, which are the Pacific blue eye Pseudomagils.
Oh yeah.
And I bought those at a pet shop, but he wanted top dollar for them. He was selling them pretty high, but I haven't seen them anywhere around me at all. I think Dan's Fish had them, but of course they're way more expensive even up there. So I've been wanting them for a long time. So I went ahead and spend way more money than I would on a pair. But I kept forgetting to throw a spawning mop in there. So I just decided yesterday to throw a spawning mop in there. I checked them when I got home today, and I had 7 eggs in there already.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm like, all right, this might pay off. They're already breeding. So I think I paid like $40 or something for that pair. But that's expensive for me to spend that much money on a pair of fish.
That is a lot.
Yeah. If you look online, they're not the cheapest ones. So, you got to pay for what you want.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that.
And those really, you keep those almost exactly the same way you keep all my other killifish. So it's a real easy match. And the eggs, those are little fish. Those are not very big fish at all. But for the size of the fish, those eggs are huge.
Oh wow.
On those Pseudomagils have relative size. They're huge eggs. So they're real easy to pick. They're easy to, and they eat live baby brine shrimp, and they'll eat the ground up food. Regular old. I use the fluval bug bites mixed with the tropical granules, tropical granules, and mix it together and just grind it up. They'll eat that from day one. So
nice.
They're easy to do, but they grow slow. It's like just like the rainbow fish, even though they're not a rainbow. They take time. So it'd be 6 months before you can even start sexing them out.
Yeah,
which is pretty slow compared to the killies.
Speaking of the small ones, those clown killies, right? Have you bred those before?
Yeah, I've got some. I bred a few of them, but I'm starting to get that going right now again.
Are they pretty difficult, or how are they? How would you rate those as far as
if you go through the effort of setting a tank just right, and they at least in my observations and my working with them, they need very soft, slightly acidic water. So that's where bringing in RODI or rainwater is a must for those guys. You can keep them all day long in your regular hard water; they'll do fine. But I just have never had them lay eggs until I dropped that everything down with that really, really soft water, and then they start laying eggs. If you have a tank that's got plenty of surface cover and you've got a lot of plants in there, a lot of times you'll have fry to show up in the tank. That's the fun way of doing it. Papa Shrimp?
Yes.
He's got a really good method of doing it. He's worked out, and I actually got a pair off of him at the last show that I'm growing up right now to breed, because I got my original ones from him too, and he just seems to do really good with them. So he's got some videos out showing you exactly all the stuff he went through, the way he does it.
Yeah, I've seen those videos, but I wasn't sure if, I trust him. He does good with the shrimp, but he was a killifish man. I figured, well, just check what you say.
What they say, the proof's in the pudding. So
yeah,
I don't care what you're doing. If you're going completely against all the rules, if
it's working.
If it's working, then it's not wrong. Now if he's having a hard time keeping alive, or you're doing something different than everybody else, and you're losing stuff, you can't breed them. Okay, now you kind of proven that maybe that's not a good way of doing it. But whenever you're so successful, it works. I break the rules all the time. I shouldn't be able to breed some of the fish that I'm breeding. I'm just told, but that was before he told me I couldn't do it. Next thing they're going, oh, you have to keep them really soft water. Oh, oops, I'm not.
Yeah.
There you go.
Kind of.
It's always nice to go over here. What happened? Prove them wrong. Yeah, I did it.
But normally, if you're going to start with a fish you've never had before, like a killifish, you look at what other people have done and what's worked. Okay, so that way works. So try their way, and then once you get some success with that, and you're looking at this going, I think I could do this a little differently. It's going to be easier for me to do, or better suit my lifestyle, or whatever. The way you like to do things, try it. If it works, hey, go for it, man. And, it's not wrong. But now if you're having troubles, well, then just think back, hey, this isn't working anymore. Like with the killies, with the clown killies. I was breeding them in the soft water, and then I forgot, and I added regular water to the tank. It didn't kill anything, but all of a sudden I couldn't get any eggs. I'm going, what the heck is going on? Oh. And then I realized, oh, crap, I stuck. So I tested it. Yep, the water's hard again. So I had to pull that water out and put the soft back in it to get them going again. So
just out of curiosity, what pH, just a rough estimate, what pH and acidity would you say for them?
For the clown killies?
Yeah,
I would keep it at 7 or under, and you want to keep it pretty soft water. I mean, rainwater, 25 TDS or something down there. Now TDS doesn't really tell you what's going on in the water. It means there's 25 parts per million of something in that water, and it seems to matter sometimes. That when you get down to that really low numbers, they need something in there, but not a whole lot. Try to keep it really down. And then you can add, if you want to get that pH down, start throwing some tannins in there. Some oak leaves you can do. Any of the typical stuff you throw in there to bring your tannins down works just fine.
So do you have adjusted tanks, or do you have tanks at different pH, or are all your killies at one pH? What do? Do you fight the parameters on some tanks?
Well, I don't really fight the parameters. I just use rainwater or RODI in some tanks. So I have them labeled. Usually I put soft on them, my soft water tanks, because some of the killies won't breed, like the clown killies. The Riggenbacher I had problems with unless the water's soft, but it seemed to be able to keep them. And when I say hard water, my water pH is like 8.5 on my tap or plus. Sometimes it goes 8.6, so off the scale. And then my KH is really high. But then my GH, general hardness, the calcium is really low. It's not super low, but it's pretty low. So it's terrible for trying to grow plants. For most plants, that's exact opposite of what you want. But I'm breeding most of my killies in that. So most things do great, but there's a few species that I found that you got to have that softer water for them to breed. But you can keep them all day long. Like the Riggenbacher, I have plenty of tanks of those guys just in regular tap water, no problem.
Gotcha.
But it's not going to be able to breed them.
Gotcha.
So that's where it kind of gets tricky. And it seems to be whenever you read parameters online, those parameters work, but they're not the extremes that thing can handle. Like those Epiplates dzei moroviae. Well, they changed the name of them now, just Epiplates moroviae. Those I kept outside last year on my porch, and my porch doesn't ever get the direct sunlight in that area. But the temperatures got up to like 107, 110 last year, and I have a brick house. So even though they're not in the sun, the bricks on the outside got hot. And this is the first year I tried keeping outside aquariums. And I think the bricks were radiating the heat back in because those tanks got up to like 97 degrees or so.
Ooh.
So my native fish did okay, and those did fine. you could tell they weren't real happy, but they were still fine. 97 degrees. They were okay. And they survived no problem. So they, 80-degree maximum or whatever you might read somewhere, take that with a grain of salt. But I did find I kept a few of them outside once it started cooling down to see. I was trying to see what the bottom end was kind of be at. But the problem is our temperatures was going really warm and then just crashed. So I don't know exactly what the low would be. But I'm suspecting it'd be probably in the 60s somewhere. I bet they wouldn't handle 60. They probably 65 would probably be about their lows. Maybe a little lower, but they just seem to like it a little bit warmer. And the Epiploides in general seem to like it a little bit warmer. But now I couldn't do that with some of the other Achilles that like it cold. They would be dead long before 97.
Yeah.
And you get some really cool Achilles from the turkey. Yeah, Phineas. There's several different ones from that region right there, from like Turkey area. And yeah, and you can keep those outside of year round because that temperature they're
you can.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, this year it got so cold that my 20, I have like a bunch of containers outside of the 20-gallon, 30-gallon, outside tubs, and I thought they froze completely solid. I mean, it got cold, really cold for a while, and it must not have froze completely solid because I had some of the fish out there stayed alive, but it must have been on the bottom. So my rice fish, no problems. What else was out there? Some of my top minnows. Oh man, my Gambusia, they didn't care. That Gambusia's got to be the most hardy fish I've ever experienced.
Yeah, they're like they take anything.
Oh man, yeah, I had a trash can outside, and I put a bunch of them in there temporarily because I was using it for feeders, and I forgot they were in there. They were in there for months outside the middle of summer. That water level got way down low, and I was going to dump it all out. So, oh man, I killed them all. Dang it! Once dump them out in there, and they're swimming around just fine. That water had to be 115, 110 degrees at least, and I was like tanning because their leaves had fallen in there. It was almost black, and I was like, oh geez, they're fine. I'm going, holy cow! Then they get down to that almost freezing type, conditions. That's a tough fish.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to ask, being I can kind of take advantage of the situation here right now. The ones I'm interested in, the Gardner Eye and then the Australia. Yeah. Now those should be fine in like like I said, the 76 to 78 degree temperature range.
Absolutely, that's a great temperature range for those guys. They can go handle a little lower, a little higher than that. Okay. So you're fine. You start getting above 82 or so, then you're going to start stressing them good. You start getting down below 60s,
the softness of the water, pH and all that. Is that are they sensitive to that, or are they pretty good?
Not really. Now, I personally haven't kept them in acidic soft water, but other people told me you got to breed them in soft, especially Australs. You're supposed to breed them in soft acidic water. Well, I'm breeding them in my tap water, no problems. They're breeding like crazy. So there you go.
I threw my mops. I had them in there. They were together the tank for maybe 3 days, and then my mops arrived. So I put the mop in there, and I tell you, within about 5 minutes, they were in there, and they had that thing peppered with eggs.
Isn't that cool how they do that sometimes?
It was fast. And
there's a trick. There's a trick people use too. Like, I'm going to start doing this. I need to do it because some of my fish quit breeding. So you can either just separate the male and female for a while, or if you've got multiple pairs, you can mix up the females or the males or whatever, mix everything around. And all of a sudden you'll see spark life. Water changes sometimes will do it. Sometimes rearranging a tank will do it. It's weird. It'll trigger them. You could take the spawning mop out and put a different color one in there. I've had that work. I mean, they would breed in weeks and pull it out, and you can watch, like you were saying, 5-10 minutes you're in the thing, and they're going, that's all it took, So it's just kind of weird. I have a couple species I can't get to breed. I think it's temperature. I thought I'd be okay, but I think my temperatures were on the high end of what they liked. I thought I'll try it, but I can't get eggs out of them at all. Not a single egg. And if the female looks like she's full, so it's like, oh man.
You ever thought about doing those little fan chillers? Would that help? For someone
probably wouldn't hurt, but the problem is you got to keep the tops on things. So it's hard to get the evaporative cooling whenever you have to keep it sealed up because they jump.
You'd probably have to, I'm not sure if they're like circular. You might have to, I don't know how that would work.
I thought about doing it like a computer cooling fan, the water cooled computers. Use some of that technology. I've been really thinking about that. And there's another these little pads basically like a square pad. You ever seen the little tiny refrigerators, the whole 6 cans or something. Those little tiny things.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they use, that same technology. All it is a pad, and there's some basically some material in there. Then we put electricity to it. It separates the cold and the hot side. So now, but it does it really efficiently. So the hot side gets really hot fast, and you'll burn them up unless you have a big old heat sink and a fan on it. And the other side gets cold, and they blow that into. But the problem is they're not energy efficient at all.
I just read a huge article on that. Yes.
Yeah,
not efficient at all. Yeah.
No, they're like worse than some big refrigerators or full fridge would be more energy efficient. These little suckers are. So they're terrible efficiency wise. But if you just needed it for a short time, your AC goes out in your house or something, you could rig something up. I don't know. I've thought about trying to play around with that, but then you worry about metals involved a lot of times. So the metal sometimes will leach into your water. So you got to be cognizant of that. So if you have shrimp and stuff, you don't want to use copper piping in there. It can cause a problem. So you've got to be thinking about other things other than just that too. So it gets a little complicated, and I don't know if it'll work or not. But
I have mostly that PEX up here you can see up there, but I do have some copper pipes that go to my sink when I get the water. But
yeah, but the thing is though, when your copper pipes in your house, eventually you're running so long, you build up a coating inside there. So the water is not actually touching the copper anymore. There's it builds up a natural coating of deposits and all kind of stuff. So you don't actually touch the copper. But if new piping could be a problem.
Well, I had it when I had it installed was when I just got my shrimp, and then I got the sink put in, so it was brand new, and I was doing the water change, but it never killed any of my shrimp, and
that's good. It's good. But,
that's
just one of the concerns I have. Whenever I have to do stuff like that, but it maybe those pipes are coated inside on it. So you don't get all the copper leaching out of them. I don't know, but it seems like I'd be careful doing that, especially if you're doing it on a DIY project using parts that aren't supposed to be in an aquarium, like out of a computer, so but I got ideas, but trying to cool it like that is difficult because you have to seal it up so well. I know people use regular small refrigerators and they'll put a bunch of pipe in there, cool it up, flexible tubing in there to cool that down, and then have it circulating slowly through all that and back out. So when it comes back out, the water's cold, and have another basically like a radiator type thing inside of there that'll distribute the heat out into the cold and pull the heat out of the tank, which you're really doing to the system.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to address that situation depending upon how many tanks you need to cool down. There is a very nice it's almost a throwaway little chiller which has 4 3/8 pipe outlets on it. So you have 2 inlets, 2 outlets, so you can actually run 2 different circuits off of it, which I'm sure each circuit could probably easily do more than 1 or 2 tanks. But it's a chiller unit, which would have a reservoir in it. You would pump it through a closed loop and then through some kind of plate exchanger suspended in a tank. And those units are, I want to say they're between $600 and $800, but still, if you need to get consistent cooling, I mean, they're ideal. I mean,
the problem is I've got little 5-10 gallon aquariums. So
yeah, you would just buy
an aquarium. It's like, oof.
Yeah, you would buy just small, tiny little plates, or even just run a section of tubing right through each one. But that would be trial and error too. Like, how much tubing do I need to put in each tank? Or do you just run? You could just run that chiller, set it, 65 degrees or something, because you could set the temperature on that too. So
that'd probably be the best way to go.
That would be slick as all get out to have one of those just for when you needed that cool water source. But like, again, that's a $600 or $800 plus piping commitment to something like that. So
I remember talking with Brian. He lives in the Palm Desert, and he says in the summertime he can't do a cool water change.
No,
ever, because it gets like 120 there in the plus.
Yeah, he needs to buy one of those chillers.
Yeah, coming out of the tap, it's pushing 90 degrees.
Wow,
yeah, that's great.
You'd think I would have the same problem because here it gets 110 degrees, and the nighttime temperatures never drop below 85 sometimes. For like a month straight almost. So, but for some reason, my water never gets that hot. It's warm, but I don't have to really worry about it. It's never an issue, even with my cooler tanks.
When it's
my house, the refreshing bath water,
Mine might stay hot for a minute or two, but I leave it on for a couple minutes. It gets cold. It gets real cold. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be 100 degrees outside, but
It probably has a lot to do with how the piping runs. If it runs deep underground or how
Yeah,
far
I'm
it's gonna
guessing
go.
your mains are deeper because you freeze.
probably, yeah, we
Yeah.
freeze
So
big
your
time.
mains are probably a lot deeper.
Ron's are laying across the top of the ground everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, not in Houston.
I want to
In
say hello to everybody
Houston.
who's coming in that I haven't been able to verbally say hello, everybody. Good to see you all.
Hang on, Mark.
No problem.
Yeah. Nathan, 5-star. Hey, Jason, Christine,
Ed's here.
Ed. Hey, hello, Ed. We have
George is here.
Craig is here. Big Steve.
Aquaballs is here.
And Aquaballs, yes. Hey, George. You know, we're talking about the cost of the heat in the room and whatnot. I got to tell you about that fish room I went to today. I picked up 4 new tanks to me. But they're in good shape.
Yeah.
But his whole basement, you walk in there, and it was about 85, 90 degrees. I think it was hot. And you know how he heated his basement? Heat lamps. And I'm like, how much is that going to cost to do? I mean, you walk in there, that heat was just booming down on you.
Wow.
He had hundreds of beds.
Like
I couldn't-
infrared heaters.
Yeah. He had this one, it's like a big
Pretty
black
hot water.
cement thing right by his rack. He has all the jarred up nails.
It all depends on how insulated it is. I mean,
I think it is insul. I mean, this is
my
not insulated.
basement would be absolutely terrible. I mean,
Mine is.
whew.
I asked him, I said, how do you heat this so well down here? I said, I'm walking, it's like, it was really, really hot. And he said, he pointed up at the thing, I got the lights up here, and man, it was
He's got to have one hell of an electric bill.
I tell you what. Oh, yeah. I mean, I got heaters in every one of all but one tank I have heaters in. And my electric bill's high. So I can only imagine what those big heat lamps are. I mean, they got to be burning more than these heaters are.
Right. Hi, Joshua
It's strange.
Templeton.
My heating bill is way more than my cooling bill. You'd think here
Yeah.
in Texas it'd be the other way around, but I don't think the heating system is designed, to really do a good job or something, or very efficient,
Right.
because
That's
You
the
don't-
opposite
you
here.
shouldn't
My
need
cooling bill's more than the heating because the air conditioner's on almost, I don't know why that is. My air conditioner is supposed to be 90% efficient, but
Your air conditioner's not your furnaces.
or the furnace, yeah, 90%. Yep. But it's a
No
big,
such-
it's a
No
big
such
AC.
thing as a 90% air conditioner.
Oh, I've already said I didn't know that. Well, I just knew it was part of the system, but it'd be nice if it was 90% efficient.
Oh, it would be nice, yeah.
So,
So,
did we
yeah,
want to? Oh, go ahead.
of the that's why I like those epiplates. They're hardy. They're one of the easier fish. They're not one of the flashier killifish, but they are definitely one of the easier fish. If you're worried about killing something, man, get a pair of those. You're not going to hurt them. Start with that if you're worried. But really, I mean, it's amazingly easy. I always thought they were difficult to keep, but man, they're just as easy as any other little fish. I mean, there's nothing to them
Yeah,
until you get to those really weird ones.
But you say those like the warmer, a little bit warmer.
They tend to do better a little bit warmer. That's why they're in the top rack, on my fish room.
Gotcha.
But when I'm talking about a little bit warmer, I'm talking like 78 is great.
Right.
Mel has those epiplates, the Golden Wonder killifish, and they breed right in the community tank. And I think she said she got some fry out of them. Little fries in there.
Yeah, they're known to do that. I've got 2 in a 29 gallon over here, and I haven't had any spawning like that in the tank yet. But they do dump a lot of eggs out. I have some gold gardener eye up here, and I quit getting eggs out of them. Couldn't figure out why, because man, a female's always looks like she's full of eggs, and then she's not. And what the heck's going on? Well, I just happened to notice up here, and I'm sitting here looking. I got two small fry swimming around in there, and those little fry will go around there and eat my eggs.
Oh,
Those
jeez.
every time. It was gardener eye like that, man. Once you start getting about a half to 3/4 inch long fry in there, you're not going to find any more eggs in there. They're going to eat them all. As soon as I take those out, I'll have eggs the next day because they're just eating.
You mentioned that Jason out there. He's got the Unimaculata bettas. You familiar with those? They're a mouth brooding betta. They won't eat their babies, but their babies, if they have more, if they do another spawn, then the babies will eat all the new fry. So he was telling me about that. So you got to take them out for the
I've got
new.
the Rubers out here that are breeding for me. We've got some pretty good sized fry now, about half grown. But they're a mouth brooder too. I need to separate those out.
Looking here, what George's saying, Jeff, I took the Cyprichromis leptosoma that were supposed to be in the 240, put them by themselves in with two different kinds. Okay. Nice. Nice.
So you were talking about, you like the Aphyosemian striatums.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are just easy as gardener eye. I mean, realistically, that whole list I gave you earlier, most of the stuff I have is I'll basically keep them exactly the same. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, so
what do you think if we can pull up one of those, like those fish, a few of those fish up in that list?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure if David and Ron might be able to pull one of them up.
What do you say about answering a couple of these questions here?
Oh, sure. Okay.
There's one from Daniel Park about algae eaters, and then there's another one from Joshua Templeton about pygmy cories.
All right. You want to go ahead and do that one? What kind of algae eaters should I put in my tank with the exodons?
And blood parrots.
Blood parrots.
Somebody suggested Hillstream loaches, but I don't know how well they do with.
Now the exodons. Are you talking about the tetra, the bucktooth tetra? Is
I
the
don't know.
Because if that's what he's talking about, if it's exodon tetras, I wouldn't put anything in there because they're going to kill it.
Yeah.
They're like piranhas. I mean, if they're the ones I'm thinking about, if they're the large tetra, they got two black spots. They're kind of a greenish color. No, I wouldn't put any. I mean, myself.
Big fish, maybe like a Siamese algae eater or something like that, because they get big.
They'd tear the scales off it and it'd die from fungus.
All right.
So they'd kill it.
So then maybe the snails, he suggests.
They'd eat the snail. They wouldn't do much either. They'll eat anything in the tank. And
So
they'll eat each other when they get bored, if they get hungry.
Wow, interesting. So then maybe affect your light levels. Reduce your light intensity and time, and maybe
get in there and manually do the work.
Yeah.
And
wear Kevlar gloves, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then pygmy cories. I've got some, but work with them. Yeah, I've had them for a year and a half, so they've never spawned for me. I don't think they like my water.
Can't see this one.
I don't know if Cheryl's here. Oh my God, she can breed anything. Maybe she could answer that. Cheryl has magic water.
Oh, the bucktooth tetras, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put nothing in there with them because
Hey Mel.
I wouldn't.
And don't forget to hit that like button for Jeffy.
I was wondering about that too, Fishy. What about a full-grown pleco, 10 or 12-inch common pleco?
Oh, you won't have to wait long. I can ship you some.
Oh, for that, you mean to put it with the exodons? That might have some armor on it. It might be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just the common Plecosaurus from PetSmart.
Yeah, that might work.
Yeah, I got one of those. Oh, he's only about 7.5 inches, but
Yeah. I just put my two biggest ones in my tub outside. I got this soft green algae. I'm thinking it looks like they've already done a little bit to it. So
How well do plecos do in the cold?
I like Jason's answer. The plecos would be best.
I think I'm going to have to pull them in the fall probably, because I don't think they like really cold water. I don't know, but from what I've read, they're not happy, below maybe 70.
Oh, okay.
So
I know the common plecos have taken over here in Texas, the San Marcos down by San Antonio. They've taken over that. I mean, literally taken over, just thousands of them they pull out of there.
Oh, geez. So they're going to survive that cold water then.
Well, that water is going to have a little bit of unique areas. So I think that water is going to stay a little bit warmer because of the aquifers and stuff that comes out of it.
Oh, all right.
So that it might have a little bit of advantage. It won't stay significantly warmer.
Yeah.
It's not going to say 70 or anything like that, but it won't freeze, I don't think.
No, and I'm not concerned about it freezing here. So the last winter, I think the tub got down to 50 for a few days.
Okay.
And then it fluctuated, closer to 60 and then mid-50s, mid-60s, back and forth the rest of the winter. So maybe I will leave them out. And by then they might be too damn big. I'll just bring them to my local fish shop and give them to him and get some more small ones.
What state are you in?
California. Just about a half an hour east of Palm Springs.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in the low desert.
Yeah, so the AK is going to be out Sacramento. In
Yeah.
a couple weeks.
Oh,
I'm going to be sending
Ooh,
some
here we
fish
go.
out
Now,
there for
which
them.
one is this one?
Just that.
Is that the striatum?
That's a striatum. Yeah, that looks like
Oh,
a
yeah.
striatum.
I like that
Or is
one.
that a
That's a primogenium.
Yeah, as I
Primogenium.
said, it was a primogenium. So the blue.
Oh, that's the primogenium.
blue, yeah, you see the blue and the bottom, kind of around the trim of the fish.
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah,
it. Oh,
that's a. But they look a lot like the striatums, but they're just a little different coloration. And that blue would give it away. Both of them are basically, identical care. They're super simple. They don't get real big. These get smaller than the Gardner eye you were talking about. These are significantly smaller. So the Gardner eye can get big. I've had some big 3.5 inch, almost 4 inch Gardner eye. If you keep in a bigger tank and you separate them out real quick and you keep in a large tank and you feed them good, they'll grow big.
and these will breed on the floating mops as well? The floating mops?
These little mop spawners. Yep. Yeah, so some of the killies will breed in basically their bottom spawners. They'll dirt spawners or whatever. They'll go into some type of substrate, lay their eggs. Some of them barely go under there and lay the eggs pretty shallow. But there's some South American ones that'll dive down, 5 or 6 inches down into the substrate and lay their eggs. So you have to basically have your tank, with a huge amount of substrate in there to breed those guys, because they will dive. They're spawn divers.
Wow. So we got them all a lot of different. You got Turkey, you got Africa. They got the killifish there, and South America.
Most of the stuff that I keep is going to be West Africa, but
Are there killifish in Australia too?
That's what I'm saying. Australia, no. Australia and Antarctica are the only two places you're not going to find them.
Oh, wow.
And that's because they have the rainbow fish kind of take that niche.
Oh, I see.
In that state, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a pretty one right there. It's a nice striatum.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Flared out, showing off. Of course, you can see the female beside of him, kind of bland. So that's one thing. If you're keeping killifish, you can keep a lot of times. You can keep them in a community. But if you're putting males in there, usually you can tell the males apart. Even like the striatums and the primogeniums, they're similar enough, but yet you can still tell them apart. You put the females of those two in the same tank, and without DNA, man, you're not telling them apart. You're not pulling them back out. So
and they'll interbreed with each other, won't they?
Yeah, they could. I'm not sure those two species are not, but definitely they're
definitely want to keep them in a species. Yeah, I'd like to have. If I did something like that in a community tank, I'd just keep that one species in there.
Yeah, with the other, they're non-killies. Yeah, then you could pull them back out and breed them if you wanted to or whatever. But if you're not worried about breeding anything, then hey, go for it. Most of the time you're going to find killifish sold in pairs, unless you're at your local fish store. And a lot of times, sometimes they'll have just the males for sale.
That is beautiful.
My idea was I would like to get 2 species of them. I would, and obviously keep them separated, but I would love to try 2 different ones, and maybe one of them is going to be an epiplaty.
If you did the epiplaty morovii, the females look very similar to the males. They're hard to tell apart. There's a couple little markers I could show you on the finish, the coloration. But those you could keep with another, like you keep those with Australs or with the striatums, because they're completely different looking. You're not going to mix any of those up. I want the one that's on the screen.
Oh, yeah, I know it. But here's one to look up, though. Jonathan Cloven says out here the Aphyosemion celiae, Celiae. I don't know if you could look that one up. Just
I think I already had that one up, didn't I?
Celiae. Oh, that's one you want right there, Dave. Yeah, that's the Bivet. No, that's the.
That's the Riggenbach, isn't it?
No,
I don't think so.
No, that's not.
Oh, let me see. What did
I got? More like the striatum kind of.
I've got it here, Jeff.
Oh, you got it? Okay, great.
Yeah, it's in the queue. Then I'll back out. So
okay, can you pull that up?
That's coming up as Riggenbach.
Is it?
There's some variations in them, so it could be. It probably is, if that's what it's labeled as.
Oh, we got to take the other one down before we put this one up. Are you able to take that one down, David?
I can, yeah.
Okay. And we'll put this one up. There we go. Just see here. Now this one is the. Which one is this one?
Aphyosemion
Oh, the one that Jonathan asked. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that is. Look at the yellow one.
I haven't seen those in person.
Wow.
If you're looking for a killifish and you're looking for a good deal, an awesome selection, hit any of the killifish shows. If there's always kind of a killifish show or the convention, like the national convention's coming up in June, it's the Father's Day weekend. Man, if you're around San Antonio area, that's where to pick them up at. You're going to do auctions on Sunday, and they'll have so many different species in there, and you're going to have to fight pretty hard for some of the more rare stuff or the more interesting things. But the more common stuff, usually it goes really cheap.
That's what I'm interested in right now, is getting the really common stuff that's real, it's popular. I like that, like the gold Australia we were talking about, and the garden right, stuff like that. I don't want to get anything too rare because, like I say, I've only kept killies for, I think I had both those pairs just a little over a year before I ended up, I had, that I moved that rack and they died. But the other one,
I got a question here. Somebody asked me
hard to take care of.
the Phyosemians, they died of old age, because they kept breeding and breeding and breeding, and it's like, I can't tell you how many eggs I've thrown away with them, and I tell you what.
Big Steve's Glass Box is asking me, he has Australs and the Epiphytes morovii. I get tiny eggs and decent sized eggs. Which ones are which? The morovii are the really small ones. The Aphysemians are going to be bigger. So that should help you out. If you're keeping those together, that's pretty cool. And if you're actually getting eggs from them, it's really neat because a lot of times they'll eat the other species' eggs.
Oh, wow.
But the morovii, I've found that they will breed in the tank. You can have quite a few pair in there, but if you've got any cover at all, man, you'll start getting a fry showing up. You almost can't stop those things from breeding.
Jonathan has a pair of these right here, guys. He says he has a pair of those. I hope you get them breeding too, Jonathan. That'd be fantastic. Wow.
Fishy Things is asking, are killifish hard to take care of? Depends, huh? It just
I can say
depends.
the one
Kind of
I
like
have
saying our cichlids hard to take care of.
It just depends on the species.
The most common ones you're going to be able to find readily on a list or whatever, are most likely going to be easy to take care of.
Right.
There's a few that are harder, but it's going to be more rare to get those because they're harder to keep. So they're not going to be producing them in big numbers to be able to put them on, a public list. They're going to be sold to friends and other people in the AKA, which is another great place to get fish. Just join the AKA and look and start asking questions. And the AKA's got two different publications they put out. They put out one's the business newsletter. It's a electronic PDF they send you out every month. And in there, you can list your fish and eggs for sale. So right now, I think there's only one species for sale and somebody's looking for a species. But sometimes there'll be multiple people selling multiple species of stuff in their newsletter. And then there's the journal, comes out once a quarter. And that is it's a full color journal, tons of articles in the thing, a lot of great information. So that's a great way to learn about these things. And if you become a member of the AKA for the first time, they will send you a free pair of killifish.
Oh, wow.
If you're,
And I think it's important to say that, like we're talking about these more common types, they're easy to take care of. So I think a lot of people get they see these beautiful colored fish and like, oh, they got to be hard to take care of, or, but they're not. They're like, you guys, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I think killifish are so underrated. I mean, look at them. They're underrated, and I think it's good to let people know that if you never had them before, try them out.
Right. Joshua, they probably forgot about you by now.
You look at those, Joshua, he said he ever had a big run with the AKA. But it's funny, you look at the killifish and you're like, why wouldn't those be as common as guppies? I mean, they're just as colorful, just as diverse.
I think I know why. There's a couple reasons. The biggest reason is they are harder to breed than guppies. Guppies, you throw them in a tank and, you almost can't stop them sometimes. But the killies, you got to take a little extra time with the eggs. There's lower numbers of them. You're not going to be able to crank them out and just mass numbers like you can guppies.
But for a lot of people, breeding a guppy isn't what they want. They want a flashy fish in their tank.
And also, now, if you have two tanks and you got the breeding pair, you can take that mop right out and put it in another tank and just.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do that. That's a good way of doing it. You can do musical tanks. You can take the parents out too of the tank and put them in their tank. If you have a really heavily planted tank and they're laying, you see them and they're spawning, You can stick parents out, stick them next tank, play the musical tank, game with them too, and get a lot of stuff out. So,
There you go,
you
guys.
can.
See, they're not that hard. They're not hard to keep. You get the right type, and they're not hard to breed. And look at them beautiful colors that we were looking at there. They were, I'm just kind of pushing for it because it's like I don't think people are giving them a fair chance.
Kind of like you.
I
Right,
was
Jeff?
that person. I was that same person a few years ago. I thought, oh my goodness, they're pretty fish, but man, they got to be terrible. They're going to kill my fish. They're killing fish.
Yeah. Right.
They're
killing right in their name.
But that's not what it means. That means river. But these fish right here are, there's no denying the beauty of them, and they're easy to take care of. I suggest everybody try to get a pair of these, and I'm going to try. If it's in my cards, I'm going to be joining the AKA. I'm going to join up.
If I can share my screen, I can.
Oh, you are too,
I
David?
can share my screen. I can show you some photos and stuff too.
You can share your screen. You sure can.
You should be able to. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll get rid of this. That's the Sheely.
Now that right there, that's right there. I want that one right there on the left. Yeah, that's. Yep.
The Sheila is the one to the right. The one on the left is not a Sheila.
Wait,
I like the one on the
It could be similar kind of.
What's one on the left there?
Man, I've never seen one that colored up. It's possible, I guess, but it's a similar pattern. But usually mine are more pastel colors.
Okay.
Oh, you're saying yours are more pastel like the one on the right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I think I have pictures of Sheila. I can just pull up right now. Not easily. I have to go dig.
I'm not yelling at you. Now, Fishy thinks I'm yelling at him now.
Okay. Let me try to share.
Yeah, right.
Let's see.
They should come with an easy button. You're right, Nathan. They should. I have 2 pairs of fun. Oh, Garden Eye. Ooh, on the way. That's one of the type.
Oh, cool.
Oh, this is the striatum.
That's striatum. Yep.
Striatum, yeah. Ooh.
Are these your picks then, Mark?
Yeah, those are my pics, my videos. This is all my stuff. I don't know if
Wow.
you ever turned sideways or not, but yeah. There's a cool fish.
Oh, wow.
They are gorgeous. Look at that. Imagine something like that in you guys' tank. They eat flake. You don't have to feed them just live food either. You can feed them flake and.
Oh yeah, these things will feed. I've even tried Rapashi. They'll eat anything I throw in there. They don't care. And I don't. I have. Let me think. What do I have? I don't think I have any killifish wise that won't eat just about anything I throw in there. Here, okay,
Do they need a heater?
like this.
Some of them do need a heater. Some of them don't.
Do you notice, Mark, that maybe you get better breeding results with live food versus flake?
Yeah, yeah. If you're breeding, that's different. Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. And also Christopher Junkin and Mark here and Jonathan, they all know the Achilles.
Shirley's got a question.
So,
she
yeah.
said she's looked over a couple times here.
There's the one. That's my favorite right there. Oh,
Shirley always gets.
Okay,
Always gets looked
I'll ask
over.
again.
I
wasn't overlooking you, honey. I got the
There
screen.
you go. I'll be right back.
Okay. She says, okay, I'll ask again since I be getting looked to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, honey. I didn't mean to. Okay, you have any info on the banded killifish, the Fundula diaphansis, the Northobronchius guntheri, or Forshii, especially breeding info?
Yeah. The whoa, that was kind of funky.
That's cool.
Oh. Those are right there, my favorite right there, David. That's the ones I want to get. Right there.
Which ones are
And,
those?
okay, so
That's the gold Austral right there.
Oh yeah, okay.
I had those in there.
she was asking
All right.
about the Nothiobranchius. So the breeding on the 2 Nothios you mentioned are different than these guys. Like this fish and what we've talked about so far are spawning mop breeders. So you put a spawning mop in there and they breed, lay their eggs in there, you pull the eggs out. But those are totally different. Those are annual killifish. So the way they do it is they will lay their eggs in a bowl. Usually I use a bowl full of either peat or peat moss or cocoa coir. So you leave them in there for a week or 2 weeks, usually not too much longer than that. You pull that out, you squeeze all the water out of those of the substrate, and then you open up and take a look. And a lot of times you'll see the eggs in there, and those eggs will take different amount of time. You basically put them in a container, and you tuck them away. So you put them in a Ziploc bag. You put the date stamp of whenever you actually, you put them in that bag, and then you mark off so many months. So 3 months, 6 months. Those two are to have different time parameters. I can't remember off the top of my head. I always have to look them up to figure out how many months. But then after that many months are up, then you take a look at the eggs, start looking at them. And what you'll find is, let me stop sharing this real quick. So what you'll find is you'll look at the eggs and you'll see little eyeballs in there when they're ready. You'll see eyeballs and you actually see them moving around. If you go to my YouTube channel, I've got some video. We'll use a microscope. There's a real cheap microscope on my phone and did a recording. You could actually see the heartbeat of the fish inside the egg.
Wow.
And so it's way cool. So once you start seeing that, I like to take a portion of that substrate with the eggs in there and wet it. Put it in some water, put an inch of dechlorinated water, and wait an hour or two, and you should start having eggs pop out. They hatch out almost immediately. Within 24 hours, at least, really within 48 hours, usually everything that's going to hatch is hatched. And if once I start seeing a good hatch coming out, then I'll take the rest of mine, put them in water too. There's no point in wetting it all if nothing's going to happen. If I wet some, I know there were some good eggs. I thought were good eggs in there, and no fry hatch out. It's not ready yet. I'll put it all back, push all the water back out of it, seal it back up, wait another couple weeks, and try it again. But once I get a good hatching coming out, then I'll hatch out everything that's going to be hatched out that round, and then I'll take I'll distill, basically pour off the water and try to get the babies, get all those little fry out of that, which is difficult. Sometimes I'll use a little eyedropper or whatever to suck them up and move them to their containers. That's what kind of gets tedious that first few weeks. But then I will take that substrate that's left over, dry it out again, stick it in the bag again, seal it up, wait 2 more weeks, and dry it again. A lot of times you can get 2, 3, sometimes even 4 hatchings out of that, and which it makes sense because in the wild, if you think about it, the ground is all dried up. You've got no fish left. All you've got is eggs. It rains good. What if it doesn't rain very much and all the eggs hatch out, and then it dries up before they get big enough to lay eggs? Then that's the end of that whole group of fish in that area. So if it does that a couple of times, hopefully one of those times it'll rain enough to be able to give enough water for the eggs to hatch out and grow to an adult size. And they don't take long. I mean, a couple months, you've got adult fish most of the time. In fact, the fastest animal to ever that comes from being born or hatched to the time that they're actually reproducing is a killifish. And it's under 2 weeks old. So they've been hatching. Well, less than 2 weeks later, they're actually having laying eggs and ready to breed, because they've got to do that with the way they're designed. So a lot of those Nothiobranchius, though, when they hatch out, they're really small. So you have to have infusoria, or sometimes I've heard that you can take egg yolk and kind of mush it up and get them in there.
Yeah, I've seen that. They take it with their fingers and just kind of.
And I've heard they'll take that, but sometimes a little fry like that that are really carnivorous type of fish want some kind of movement. So infusoria, if you've got paramecium culture, works great, but they grow so fast that you're only doing that for a couple of days, maybe a week at max. You're keeping the infusoria. Then they get big enough where they can take baby brine shrimp, no problem.
Are you doing that? Are you doing that?
I have done it in the past. I don't have any. I have one pair right now that I'm not even trying to breed because it's just a pain in the butt for me trying to get infusoria and stuff. But some of the Nothos, though, will hatch out big enough where they'll take baby brine shrimp. At least most of them that hatch out will. Okay. Most of a batch. You have a whole group of them that hatch out. Some of them are just too small. But
so I just put Mark Kyle's channel link right here in the chat. Now, Mark, are you open to emails or do you want not getting bombarded by?
Oh, no. Pileaquatics at gmail.com is my
email address. Pileaquatics@gmail.com.
Yeah. And in fact, if you join the AKA, and right now that was brought to my attention that there's no fish on the free fish list as of right now. But you can either email me or you can email Sarah. And I got her, she gave me her email address earlier today because I messaged her about this to make sure that anybody wanted it could get fish. And hers is smwalker8@gmail.com. It's her email address. So if you're wanting free fish after you join, you can message her and we'll get you a free pair of fish. You usually have to pay for shipping, but the fish are free. And I've got some of the fish that I have here that if I've got extra, I'm more than happy to send them to you too. So,
Did you say smwalker8@gmail?
Andy, you have a good night, sir.
smwalker8 at
Thank you.
08 at Gmail.
I'll put it in the
Have
chat.
a good night. See what I got there. There's the email.
That's Sarah
right there.
Walker,
Got it.
Sarah Michelle. She's on Facebook, so you can look her up as Sarah Michelle. You'll see just a picture of her.
Elaine is here. Hello, Elaine. Welcome in. Back in the 60s, eggs and egg yolks were the main fry food because store-bought food was so low in protein.
Yeah, when I was a kid, you used to be able to buy it in little metal tubes. You know, that it was like an egg, and you could drop it into a tank.
I think that's 08, Ron, isn't it?
No,
Mark,
just the number
08.
8. Oh, it is
Yeah.
08?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 08. Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Let me just do away with that.
no problem.
Have a good night. You have a
Email
good
me
night.
too.
I wanted to tell
I'll
you.
either give
before
you some
Mark
or I'll
yelled at
get you. I'm sorry, say it again. I was talking over
I was just gonna say I wanted to correct Ron before you yelled at him.
I'm not going to yell at him.
Not you. I was gonna say Mark was gonna yell at him.
Oh,
I would let you off the hook.
oh, nobody gets to yell at Ron. Nobody gets to
All
yell
right.
at Ron at
Go
all.
ahead. What are you gonna say?
And I was told too that they are redoing their website. Their website is kind of a little clunky and a little old, so they're actually in the process of revamping it. So hopefully
Yeah,
they'll come out that pretty soon.
Jeff and I pulled that up on
Check
Friday
it again,
night.
please.
SM Walker
08 at Gmail. That's it.
is ready. There it is.
George Aquariums just posted it.
Yeah, we were looking at that on. That was the first thing I thought because somebody had said, "Hey, you can get free fish," and I went to that list and I'm like, "Oh, whoa, wait, they don't even have any fish listed."
Yeah. If you dig
But-
around that website though, there's a ton of information.
I saw it. Yeah, they're. Yeah, I think I'd like to spend some time on that.
What's the website again?
AKA.
Yeah.
Right.
If you actually do a search for it, search for American Killifish Association because there's other groups called AKA, and you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
get
you're
lost
right.
in all those.
Yep.
So if you
you're
do a
right.
search, spell the whole thing out, American Killifish Association, or just go. I think it's just aka.com, but I'm afraid to tell somebody that and to be a, a not so
was,
great
No, it's
friendly
not a
website.
word.
You know,
Yeah, I
also,
did.
known as, also known as the Killifish.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I pulled up the AKA the other night and the whole. I mean, it was page after page of all kinds of stuff. But
yeah,
American Kickboxing Academy.
Yeah, right.
right. See,
There you go.
Right.
aka.org. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
There we go. That's what jumped
Yeah,
in.
so
I just upgraded
They're going
those.
to be out.
Oh, nice.
They're going to be in Sacramento too. The Findig, I guess they'll call it. So
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
at the Findig, stop by the AK booth. They'll have some killifish right there on site for you to either get a free or purchase. So
yeah,
I'm
well, they
sending them
need to come up
some,
to.
hopefully
They need to come up
soon.
to the Northeast.
Yeah, man, the Northeast they have some of the greatest killifish groups. Man, the Wisconsin group is awesome. There's a bunch of nice great groups up there in the Northeast.
Got to be
Killifish.
something in Ohio, isn't there?
There is, yeah, we're close to it.
Yeah.
You guys, I do have a little bit. I don't want. We're having a good time here, but I do have some bad news. I have bad news and I have worse news. The bad news. The
How
bad
about the
news.
word first?
The bad news. The worst news is Swiffle. His wife is in a coma. She's in the ICU and she's on a ventilator.
Yeah.
And I just want everybody to try to keep them and their family in their thoughts because he's a good guy and I feel terrible for him and his family.
He said that yesterday in the stream.
Yesterday on the stream. But I just want to let everybody know if they didn't.
So
know
prayers for Swiffle and his wife.
Yes, absolutely. And the other bad news is Mark won't be with us on this auction, but he might be on the next one.
Yeah.
So, but
So he's here teasing us right now.
yeah.
I had some friends, man, buy tickets and for what is his name? Oh man,
I don't
he's
know. I'm not sure, Sam.
he's the dwarf guy that's a comedian, funny as heck, man. I can't remember his name. Why did this go blank? That's crazy. He's one of my favorite comedians. Oh well. I can't remember.
Was he? Is he the one that's in all the movies?
No, I don't think he's in any movies.
Not in Game of Thrones or anything like. Not Peter Dinklage.
No, not that guy. No, he's not a comedian. Well, he might be, but
I think he's done some stand up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
yeah. You know, if you saw this guy, he's
Andrew
hilarious.
Schultz.
No, that's different.
Okay,
No, not Andrew Schultz.
that was Gabriel's guess.
Okay. Let's see if I can look up now. It's been too many
God
searches
for
ago.
Google, huh, Mark?
Yeah, right.
Williams, that's it. Williams. Yeah,
Does he just go by one name? Is he one of those?
No. What is his full name? I forget his full name.
No, that's all right. I'm just
Ron Williams. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's good. So stuff I've seen on Facebook and stuff. Brad Williams. That's it. Brad Williams. Yeah.
To look him
So
up.
we'll be going to that concert here in Fort Worth. So
very cool. Have a good time.
Show.
All right, you're allowed. You can have a personal life, you know.
Yeah, no, I got to do it every once in a while. Get out to.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. They're rehabbers. They're the wildlife rehabbers I'm so permitted underneath of, kind of our best friends and stuff. So we did a lot of stuff together. So they taught me falconry. So I'm a falconer, but they were my sponsors. Well, he was Mario's my sponsor. So he's the one that taught me all about falconry and stuff too. So yeah, so basically all this wildlife stuff. So if anything wildlife in this area, that everybody just tags me and Facebook or whatever, calls me, and like the snake call tonight, and
right.
You know, it's always I'm always getting text messages and asking what stuff is.
Busy man.
Yeah. Then I do the educational stuff with the venomous snakes for like animal controls, and then we're doing for a company. It's like a construction company. We're going to be teaching about 20 of their employees how to identify snakes, and be like a half a classroom, and then we'll do a half a hands-on. We'll actually teach them how to get snakes in and out of a bucket. It seems simple, but until you have a 4-foot rattlesnake on the end of your hook, and then it makes it a lot more tricky for everybody.
So I do have some comedy also. Besides that bad news earlier, remember Mark? I'm sitting here and my phone my messenger rings. Right? I look, my client doesn't want to talk, so I click the button to listen to it, and he says, "I love you, baby." And blah, blah. It's like he says, and she goes, "Love you too."
Somehow I know I was reading ready to text you something.
I was way out the door. I was like, "Wow."
I'm glad I kept it G-rated, man.
That was funny.
Yeah, right. Yes.
And I looked down. I got done. I turned around, looked down, my phone's on, going like, it looks like I'm on a call. I'm like, oh crap!
I was like, "What's he calling me?" Okay, hey Mark.
Oh boy.
Love you, baby. He said, that was great.
Love you, man, but not that much.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hey, check out Daniel Park, man after our own heart, Jeff.
Y'all ate so much golden food. Oh wow! On the way back home. Oh no!
Congratulations, man.
The adult supervision is out of the room.
Yeah, right. Who let you go up for the 5th time?
Yeah, really. I've only eaten there once.
Fifth time?
Right.
5th time?
There's some good stuff.
Like, come on, man!
5th
You
time.
gotta join the elite. It's
5th
10 and
time.
1.
5th time. I'm just starting the dessert table.
You start that early?
Yeah.
Man, you got me talking like I'm not gonna say.
Listen, I've seen you only eat half a pizza, so
it's because I was savoring it for the next day.
Sure.
Trust me, it's only because I got to keep my resources balanced. I could hurt them places. I could hurt them places bad. But I try to keep it. I try to be user friendly. I go in there. I don't want to eat them out of house and home, but I could.
Oh, Gabriel, you lightweight.
3 times to the buffet
3
table.
trips. Come on,
That's
Gabriel.
decent, though. That's decent. I mean, you get a lot of food on your plate.
Not when the first trip salad.
Oh wow, salad.
Salad there.
You can't even count that. That's not a trip.
It's because he's eating more healthy than what we do. I mean, we just go for the good stuff. We just go for the good stuff. That's
how he stays svelte.
Yeah, right. Yes, right.
That's the only one that does reptile. Oh yeah, reptile. Yeah. He's looking up here.
Hey, Tim.
Brad Williams. You mentioned the name, Brad Williams. Did I miss somebody in here?
No, that's the comedian we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Brad Williams.
So yes, you did.
Hello, Tim.
Say hi, there you go. Say hi to Tim instead.
Tim Mitchell. You know something? Tim Mitchell's. He's been here quite a bit. I think this time he got a wrench here, huh?
Really?
Throw him a wrench. If he can dodge it, he can dodge a ball.
There you go, Tim. Now you can, if you want to subscribe to channel, all you got to do is touch their name and take you right to their channel. So makes it a little easier for you. I didn't get notification. Good. I'm glad you're here, Boots. I got to say something. Now today I got 4 new tanks. Well, kind of new tanks. They're only like a year old, but there's a 32-gallon, and I got 329.
My wife's on.
Boots, I got to tell you this, because she's a Betta fan. I went to a place. The man's name is Paul Nguyen, and he's from Vietnam. I didn't know that. He's a renowned breeder. Okay, so I went over there. It's like hitting a gold mine. I walked in. He said, "Do you want to see my fish?" I said, "Sure." I went down there, and I tell you what, those fish were so beautiful. I almost started crying. I'm serious too. They were absolutely drop dead gorgeous. I was like, "Whoa!"
How many tanks did he have set up?
Huh?
How many tanks has he got set up?
He's got about at least, I'd say about 40, and then he's got like these big gallon with the males. He has them separated with cards and stuff. But these males are, I mean, George's fish. I mean, just like George's fish, they're gorgeous. But he's got like hundreds of them. He's got like hundreds of them.
Joshua knows.
Like, holy cow! It was just, yeah.
Is he a younger guy?
He's a younger guy.
Is this him?
Bring him up here. He's on Facebook. I know that.
Well,
I'm not sure. He might even be on YouTube. I'm not sure.
I think he might be.
There
you go.
No, that's not him.
No. Let's get him out of here then.
No, that's not him.
Another Paul Wynn. All right, let's try this Paul Wynn.
Facebook, yeah. Yep, that's it. Those are his kids.
Okay, they're cute.
A cute family they got there. Yep, he's got.
Yep. Oh, man.
Yeah, he got. That's a spitting. Yeah. See, those are like what George has. Those are just gorgeous. He has like all different.
Sorry.
Lots of different types. That's okay. All different types, and I was asking him. I said, "Now, how much do these go for? How much do you sell these for?" And I was thinking he was going to say like a lot more, but he's like, one like that would be like $20-$25. He said, 'cause I picked one out just as cool as that. And he says 25 for that one.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Is that when he's showing his place down there too? There's this. I think he showed a fish room there for a second.
No, that looked like a
salon.
Yeah,
salon.
thank you.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe his wife has. Oh, is that him?
That is him. But his
So
wife.
maybe they own a salon.
They might. They have a very nice home and they're a very nice family. And I think Grandma lives there too with them. But anyway, I met the whole family there. They're very nice people.
Very cool.
But we're going to have a resource because we're going to have him on the live stream here. I asked him about it. He said, sure, he'd like to do that. He might even do a tour, but I'm not certain on that yet. But he will join us.
Right. That'd be great.
And, being that I'm becoming friends with him now, so we're going to have that resource of those bettas.
Yeah.
And that's,
we don't need a better resource.
No?
No.
Yeah, you do. Because one of those are going to be coming to. One of those are going to be heading to Pennsylvania. Paint the betta on my nails, please. Yes. Oh, I love that betta. Yeah, aren't they nice? Nice fish. And
You want to see a really cool looking killifish?
What's that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll show you a really cool looking killifish.
Yes, and let's go back to the killifish now. But I just wanted to tell Boots that because I talked to her later about it and got her all excited about the stream.
There we go.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, look at that.
That's a Funlopanchex cribrianus. Unfortunately, the female died on me. I don't know if these are.
Oh, wow.
These are like substrate spawners. I don't know if I have any eggs. I can't see any, but
wow.
Oh, look at that.
That's like a tiger out of India.
The bettas are beautiful, but they don't hold. Those bettas don't have anything on these killifish. I'm just saying, the beauty of these fish are just incredible. Look at that. I love that.
I think
gold
this one's referred to as like a pheasant killifish or something, if I remember right.
Interesting.
Yes.
It's a cool fish, but man, I lost the female a while ago. So I was
Uh,
bummed out.
If anybody has
what were the plants behind it there?
Let me pull back up. I don't remember. Tell you the truth. Let's see. Where was that at?
That's what I say, Rachel.
Yeah, just-
Look like a
I know
wild
it. I
cat.
need it. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, definitely.
Oh, that's probably
Not
just
not those. It was
what do you call it?
Oh, she says that looks like a wildcat.
Okay.
yeah, those.
That. Oh, that's just Wenditii. What's this stuff called? It's just a real super common.
Crypticern?
Yeah.
Corian Wendiii.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little different than what I've got. I've got the bronze and the green. Yeah, I like the white petioles.
Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah.
That sounds good, Daniel.
The
I
leaves
like
are
the white
safe.
petioles on the leaves. It's pretty. That's a nice fish. It's really a pretty fish.
Yeah, it's a bummer that the female died. I'll try to get him my mate. I
Yeah,
bet somebody will have him around.
yeah.
Looks like a wildcat. Yeah.
There you go, Gabriel. I'm back.
We got to find out when all these birthdays out there so we can send gift fish to people like Boots. Or,
Yeah.
I think Gabriel's got a little man crush on you, Ron.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, yeah. We're buddies.
All
what
right.
was that, she's wanting to know what the name of that species of kili was again.
Fun little Panchex Caribbeanus or something like that. You pull up the. I have it labeled.
Check that out.
Yeah, right here's the file. So yeah, it's whatever. Oh yeah, you guys can't see it. I got to share it.
Okay.
Hang on.
You pull it back up on the screen.
Guys keep talking about that Brazilian steakhouse. You're killing me.
I know it.
So it's.
Me too.
There's one about 50 minutes from my house. My kid's been trying to get me
It's
to go
not gonna be on
to.
that screen. It's
You're
right
right
there.
here.
Caribbeanus.
Is it on the, there we go. Let's take a look.
It's up. It's right up there on the top of the page, in there too. How you pronounce? How you spell it? It's a fun little Panchex. I just have it as F. It's a fun little Panchex. Caribbianus. Caribbeanus.
Almost like Crebensis.
Almost. Yeah. But I always want to pronounce it Carbensis. It's not.
We need to find a female for that fish, and then you can get some breeding going. Then maybe we can.
I do.
Oh, jeez, Gabe.
You know, I may have some
Right.
eggs. I
mean,
gotta wait.
somebody might know where they can get one of them. Get you a female. You know, that's what I like about the networking of this community we got. It really is.
I got those from Art. What is his name? I can't remember his last name, but he's with the AKA. He's with the TACO. It's a Texas Area Killifish Association, which is a ad hoc committee off of the AKA. There's a bunch of those around different areas. So we call it the TACO. So it's the Taco Bell review is what they.
Oh yeah.
That's the show name, Taco Bell Review. But anyhow, yeah, I got those from him. Art. He may have more of them that I can get some off of. I'll be seeing him hopefully here in a month or so. We're all going to be going down there. We need to build more tables, a couple tables for the national show, so we have more table space for all the killies to show them. If you didn't know, if that show's not going to be just the killifish, it's going to be the American Cichlid Association, the International Betta Congress, and the
Ooh,
American Library Association.
That-
We're all going to be there.
that's all me right there. All four of them.
What do they call it?
Yeah.
The Cares in San Antonio.
That is
It's in
my.
San Antonio.
That's
Yeah, the CARES. Yep.
Yeah.
Texas CARES.
Yeah.
That's going to be a
that's
heck of a show. I think.
lunch, breakfast, dinner, and snack right there. I take them all.
I'm the first
All those.
speaker. I'll be on the first speaker on Thursday, and I'll be talking and doing a show. Basically, I do I made a fry grow out system, kind of my own. I took the Master Deans, and I took a little bit of what. Man, I'm getting tired. The guy that does nothing but no filter tanks in Florida,
Lucas Bretts.
Lucas Bretts.
Yeah.
He kind of had something on the wall, and it kind of made me think of doing this. But basically, it's a sweater box with standoffs on the bottom, and I put some egg crate on top of that,
Right.
and then I put shoe boxes on top of that, and in the bottom, you put any kind of media you want in there. Really, it just doesn't really matter what's in the bottom. And then I put a small pump and submerged in the bottom with a PVC pipe hooked to it going across. And then coming off the PVC pipe, I have valves. And hooked to the valves, I have water lines that go up. And the water lines kind of octopus up to all the shoe boxes. So I can adjust the flow to each one of the shoe boxes, and I can make it modular. So now we've got in the back of it, I have a hole, and I've got PVC pipe coming down with a piece of I was zip tie. You can put anything down through it to make the water flow straight down to where you want it to go into the bottom, so it doesn't splash out or anything. And then that basically has a flow through system. So now I can keep a ton of fry in a very small area, and I don't have to worry about overfeeding them, because with fry, ideally you want to keep food in front of their face 24/7.
Yeah.
If you can do that. Problem is, when you do that, you end up with toxifying your tank, because that's going to start breaking down what they don't eat.
Right.
But if you have a system like this where the water's flowing through and you got a big area in the bottom, you either have I like using lava rock is fine. Lava rock or decomposed granite, two of my favorite substrates. And there'd be a ton of biomass down there.
Right,
You could not overdo this thing.
Yeah, very
So
important.
In your breeder box, all that, feed them as much as you want. They'll clean that up and keep everything nicer.
But if you don't have any way for the water to get out, even they give off toxins too. I mean, their waste is going to be, you will toxify a box pretty quick. And I was doing it that way.
There's no water. It's not there's no flow
through my system. There's water coming in the top and it goes out the back.
What did you say to add, Jeff? What did you say to put in there?
A ram's horn snail to eat the excess food.
Okay. Yeah.
I will have I have snails in every single. I intentionally put snails in every single shoebox, so there is definitely snails in there.
Oh, okay.
That helps. But if you don't have a flow through system, you just have just snails. It's still pretty quickly.
I thought you were going to do it. Put some in the flow through system. They can eat that excess food, and then it'll flow out and should be all right. But
yeah, I have them in each little tub's got some type of snail. It's either ram's horn or pond snails, doesn't really matter what. Something in there eating up the excess food. Mm-hmm. And then of course there's snails on the bottom, and I have fish. The extra calls sometimes go in the bottom sump, even though they could jump out if they wanted to, but at least they have a chance.
Are you covering all those tanks with one sump, or how do you?
I've seen just one pond pump. It's just one small pond pump that goes across the bottom, and then it feeds all up through. So you got to pick your pump that has enough head pressure. Your head is how high the water can go. Yeah. Depending on how many layers of shoeboxes.
Yeah, you need 4.3 pounds for every 10 feet.
Whatever it is, usually they're rated. It'll tell you how much head they are. Make sure you don't. If you're going to go up 3 feet, make sure you don't have one that's 3 foot head, because then it's going to be barely trickling.
Yeah, so you need at least 1.5 pounds.
More than what you need.
Audra Myers has joined us this evening. Hello, Audra. Welcome in. We're talking.
Where did you see that, Mark? Was that on LRB?
No, I made this. This is my own design. Oh. So if you go on my website, my YouTube channel, you can see the prototype version. I've refined it somewhat since then, but you get the general idea if you just go to my YouTube channel. So I'm going to build one and bring it with me to the convention, so people can see what I'm talking about. I'm on PowerPoint and go through how I actually built it and all the tools you need and some shortcuts and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to put that whole thing in the auction, so somebody can auction off, pick up the whole thing. Because by the time you get, I have, those are, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 10, there's 12, about you can get about 12 shoe boxes in each one of these. So you have 12 shoe boxes, 12 different species, or however you want to do it, each one. So that adds up pretty quick. When you start on valves, you start adding up all the parts. So
yeah,
not super cheap, but man, it saves you a lot of work. Right. There's no way I could raise nearly as many fish without this system.
Yeah, I think you did a walkthrough with us on Jeff's one night. You showed us that on the stream with him.
I did. Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, and it works better for me than doing the Master Dean, where he just puts the things on top of the aquariums. I was doing that for a while, but I got killifish. They jump. So after if you wait too long and they get an inch long or so, you find the killifish in bends they're not supposed to be in. You're going, oh crap! So you have to cover them.
Covered?
Yeah, I put the tops. The shoe boxes have tops on them.
Okay,
two holes on the top. One hole has the water coming in. The other small hole is for me to feed.
Right. Okay.
And then the back hole for the water to go out.
Okay.
Well, folks, I'm looking at the time. We have a hard stop here. David is going to, he's got his family over. And also I have to go up and give my wife her medication. And
Kathy just got home too. So
And what's
I wanna
that?
And Kathy just got home as well, so I want to go spend some time with her.
Oh, that's good. That's perfect. But anyways, guys, I want to thank everybody. Thank you very much, Mark, David,
Yeah,
No problem.
and
good to see you again, Mark.
Yeah, good to see you, Mark.
everybody. I'm sorry for having to go so soon. I usually go much later than this, but I have.
I'm tired too.
We're a little bit tired, but we got a lot to do yet. We got to get ready for the auction, which is coming up on Saturday, and that'll be on the West Coast. It'll be 5 p.m.
Yes.
It'll be 8 p.m. on our side of the world, and then 7 p.m. on the Central. So,
All right.
if you guys want to come and check it out on Saturday, there's going to be a lot of great stuff there. I'll tell you that.
And then check back in the description for what's going to be there.
Oh yes. And if I missed anybody out there in the audience, I want to tell you guys, I've been I try to keep up with everything, but I want to let you guys know that you're very, very treasured with me and the guys up here, and you guys make it all worthwhile. So I just want to thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks
Hey,
so much.
Especially Gabriel. Thanks, Gabriel.
If the opening act
Guys.
suck, maybe I'll be bidding on some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Love you
All
guys.
right. Love you all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.